AEW All Out 2023 is this Sunday. Going to give you my predictions for the match card here today. At the time of recording, there are 9 matches in total. Now, there are a couple of factors that are going into this show. There were some minor illnesses to big talent this week, which were pulled from Dynamite. There was a hurricane in Florida, which affected flights and some talents being able to get to the show. As well as that, we know the fiasco with Brawlin, the alleged CM Punk and Jungle Boy Jack Perry fiasco. And of course, some talents have been taking some time off this week and next week from AEW to attend Bray Wyatt's funeral. So this is a very different looking card for All Out, but of course with many different talents going to be on this show, it's a chance to make a statement, it's a chance to break out, and it's a chance to be, well, a big deal in AEW moving forward. So without further ado, let's get straight into the matches. Let's start things off with the AEW International Championship, Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley. This is the type of mismatch that could be, well, a match of the year contender in my opinion. Could almost have the early day feels of AEW, which we had with Orange Cassidy and Pac. But of course, Jon Moxley, no nonsense, likes to bleed against Orange Cassidy, who, let's be fair, has become a very credible international champion. Someone who likes to do his goofy kicks in his own unique style, but can actually switch it up when it matters. And of course, these two have been feuding all the way through Stadium Stampede. The fact as well, Orange Cassidy saying that this international championship means so much to him. This was one of the guys that was not supposed to get anywhere, and AEW gives those opportunities. Yes, he has no catchphrase, but he is Orange Cassidy. He's held that championship for a long time now, has the record amount of title defenses in AEW history, although I do think his time is coming to an end. As much as I'd like to see Cassidy pick up the shock win over Jon Moxley on this show, because Moxley can afford the loss, I see Jon Moxley becoming the international champion moving forward. This could be a first of a few matches, but I'm going to predict Jon Moxley to pick up the W. Next, let's talk about Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita with Don Callis in his corner. What smart booking at All in Wembley Stadium. Takeshita actually pinning Kenny Omega in the 6-man tag team match, the first step to proving that he is on Omega's level. And Don Callis this week showing the weak spots of where Takeshita can focus on Kenny Omega to pick up a win at All Out. Now, for me personally, this is a big singles match. I reckon it has the potential to steal the show. I think it has the potential to main event the show as well. But for me personally, I do think Kenny Omega will probably ultimately win the feud. The question is, where does the feud end? Does it end here, or does it end later down the line? In my opinion, Takeshita could have a breakout performance here and a breakout victory in the singles capacity as well over Kenny Omega. You started last week, why not continue it this week? I'm going to say Takeshita actually picks up a win here with shenanigans with Don Callis' help to pick up the win here at All Out, although ultimately I do think Kenny Omega will win the feud. Next at Ring of Honor All Out, I'm joking, it's the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. Better Than You, baby. MJF and Adam Cole taking on a mystery tag team. Of course, they were determined on Rampage this past week. If you don't want to know the spoiler, then actually use the chapters feature below now to skip to the next match. It is actually going to be against the Dark Order's Alex Reynolds and John Silver. Seriously, I'm not sure why they've picked these two as the challengers for this tag team match. It made so much more sense to put the Kingdom in this position with all the storytelling they've been doing with Adam Cole and MJF over recent weeks. Still, the Dark Order is going to be a great match. It should be a fun time, but there's no way that Adam Cole and MJF are dropping these championships on this show. Speaking of Ring of Honor, we've got the Television Championship, Samoa Joe versus Shane Taylor. Shane Taylor won a tournament, an eliminator tournament, to get to this position. It's a bit of a surprise to see this on this show, if I'm going to be brutally honest, but I again am going to look at the opportunity that's provided here. Shane Taylor was one of the best ROH World Television Champions in history when Ring of Honor was not owned by Tony Khan. There was an opportunity here to have a breakout moment and a breakout star to a lot more eyes on AEW television, and certainly for that Ring of Honor brand. Shane Taylor should win, in my opinion. What a moment it would be for his career, and him moving forward in AEW could really show what he's all about. However, my prediction will be Samoa Joe. I just don't see them actually changing the championship here. I think Samoa Joe will retain, because let's be fair, it's Joe after all. He doesn't lose many matches in AEW, and he did lose just this past week to CM Punk at All In. For the TBS Championship, we have Kris Statlander versus Ruby Soho. A match I'm really looking forward to, if I'm honest. These two have a lot of history together. The question, though, is going to be Ruby Soho. Does she have backup, or doesn't she? Of course, it seemed to all break down for the Outcasts at Wembley this past week for All In, but they are actually going to be in a trios match on Collision this week, and of course Kris Statlander is going to be on the opposing team. That could be a big hint of what's going to happen going forward with the Outcasts. Will they go off into a freeway for the AEW Women's World Championship? Of course, Saraya is the current champion. If that's the case, I don't see Ruby Soho winning the TBS Championship. Perhaps one of the other two ladies also could cost Soho in this match. I'm going to go for Kris Statlander to retain the championship here. Next, we've got an 8-man tag team match. We've got Bullet Club Gold going against FTR and the Young Bucks. FTR and the Young Bucks had, well, arguably one of the matches of the night at All In. The Young Bucks, though, refusing to shake the hands of FTR after losing in that tag team title match. Of course, backstage, we saw that respect was deserved. The Young Bucks were kind of frustrated. This was the show they created, and that's why they wanted to win on that stage. But of course, well, Bullet Club Gold got involved, ended up setting up an 8-man tag team match. I'd be more actually excited if they'd done actually FTR versus the Bucks versus Bullet Club Gold in the triple threat match. I think that would have been more fun here, but still, this feels like a placeholder for what they're going to do going forward. In one way, I'm kind of torn on the prediction. It could go either way. I'm actually going to say that FTR and the Young Bucks will pick up the victory, just purely because we have Austin Gunn and Colten Gunn there to be pinned. So for that reason, I'm going to go for what's now the babyfaces sort of to pick up the win, and I would see the Young Bucks after that victory using FTR to perhaps try and get themselves another match for those tag team titles and turning on FTR afterwards. We have Luchasaurus versus Darby Allin for the AEW TNT Championship. Of course, Christian Cage, dastardly Christian Cage, will be in Luchasaurus' corner. For me, the TNT Championship just seems to have lost all meaning. Go to the glory days of Brody Lee, of Cody Rhodes, of Darby Allin. To be fair, Darby Allin and Samoa Joe at the turn of the year probably had the best run of the TNT Championship in, well, probably the last year or so. For me, if you want tried and tested with that TNT Championship, it should be with Darby Allin. I'm going to make the prediction that Darby will win the championship back, although, to be fair, this one could go either way. We have Powerhouse Hobbs against Miro, two big meaty men slapping meat. Should be a fun time watching this match, although to be fair, this has been building for quite a few weeks and I don't really have much to say on it, which I think says something about the AEW booking when it comes to this one. Maybe more focus on All In than All Out. For me to make a prediction, I can't bet against Miro. That's just the thing that I've got. I want to see Powerhouse Hobbs make a real splash and a real statement in AEW. I think he's got a really bright future. However, I just don't see him beating Miro. And lastly, on the matches confirmed, we have Eddie Kingston and Shibata going against the Blackpool Combat Club's Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. For me, it makes most sense here for Shibata and Kingston to pick up the victory. If Kingston can actually pin Claudio Castagnoli, then I think that does set up a future Ring of Honor show and perhaps a Ring of Honor World title match between Kingston and Castagnoli. Now, set up for Collision is Ricky Starks offering a challenge for a strap match against Ricky Steamboat. Very interesting. Ricky Steamboat, I believe, is approaching or in his 70s now. To have a match on AEW seems crazy to me. But Ricky Starks, look, plans have clearly changed. Ricky Starks has been suspended for 4 weeks. Rumours were that he was going to be taking on CM Punk for the Real World Championship and probably was going to be the main event of this show. In the meantime, we have no CM Punk as he's meant to be suspended after Brawl In. A real suspension, that is, not a scripted one we've seen for Starks on TV on Collision. If this match does take place, then of course Ricky Starks I expect to pick up the win. And well, Ricky Starks needs all the heat possible. He's been one of the bright sparks of Collision since it's become, well, a part of the AEW programming each and every Saturday. So there you have it. That's my predictions there for AEW All Out. If there are any last minute matches added to the show, then maybe I'll try and do a quick short on the channel. All in all, I do think this card is a bit lackluster. I think maybe having 2 pay-per-views on 2 weekends does seem a bit extreme, to be honest. We've just had All In last weekend, which I will still go on record and say I think is the best AEW pay-per-view since All Out 2021, their best show in 2 years. This one for me, I think, could be a bit underwhelming, if I'm honest, but like I say, we've got some great in-ring talent. We have potentially some breakout performances. Let's hope that this actually does surprise a few people that are watching. But I do wonder how many will actually fork out $50 for this on pay-per-view. But let me know your predictions in the comments below anyway. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to kangaroo kick that like button, double close on that subscribe button, and make sure to keep an eye out for the channel because there'll be more AEW videos on the way. Of course, the build for Arthur Ashe Stadium will be after this, and of course a lot of focus with that with the AEW World Championship for MJF. His next challenger will be decided for that show. So that goes to show that AEW's attention probably is already more focused to that show than All Out. But that's all from me anyway. Thank you for watching. Look after yourselves and each other, and I'll see you for the next video. If you're a WWE fan, then check out the Payback predictions available on the channel for you right now, and check out my live experience as well. Myself and Nick Steve talking about AEW All In from Wembley Stadium as we were in attendance. Check those videos out now. See you next time. All the best. Thanks for watching.